red on my jersey. Lion on my chest is for my fam, for my town. We ain't settling for less. Offense clean.
Yo, we are live. It is the Group Chat Podcast. We are rocking and rolling. I am Casey Gisclair. We've got all of the boys here. We've got Nick, we got Damien, we got Turtle, everybody in house today. I have Derek Brunet on at some point in time. Golden Meadow lost a tough one last night against Raceland. Raceland just had a little bit too much quarterback, a little bit too much running back. They had some big boys running that football last night. They got a 12-0 win. I think, Damien, you hit the nail on the head. Raceland is going to get better. Once Raceland realizes, hey, we got a running back that's like 6'1", 220, they're going to just start giving him the ball over and over and over again. I think they'll get some things figured out. Not a terrible showing from Golden Meadow. They had chances to score. The one thing that I would say they're going to need to figure out, they got to figure out how to get more explosive plays because they just didn't have any 10, 15, 20, 30-yard plays. Even their positive plays were 6- and 7-yard plays. That's okay. But in middle school, you need some big chunk plays to get down the field and you know, stay ahead of the chains, all that good stuff. I'm
not trying to give Golden Meadow any advice because I'm an LCO guy, but they got some big boys on that offensive line and defensive line, and they got a wagon at running back with number 33. If they want to just pound the ball the whole game, I don't know if there's anybody in the parish that could stop them.
That's a good point. That Plaisance boy is big. He's strong. He's mean. He's physical. He's a hell of a good player on defense, too. And we'll see where both teams go from here. And, guys, how about the freaking upset in middle school? Lockport beating E.D. White? Nobody saw that coming. 26-21. I would imagine that the Parish chase is wide open when you got E.D. White bowing out in the first game of the season. That was a shocker to just about everybody, including some of the folks at E.D. White. They didn't see it coming either. Big old week one upset in the middle school ranks.
Looked like Lockport had a running back that had some wheels, man. I'm not big on the Lockport scout yet, but it looked like he was pretty unstoppable last night. So if you're having that type of success against the big E.D. White up front on their line, it's going to be tough for the Parish. You could notch in Lockport as one of the front runners.
So does this say more for Lockport or E.D. White?
I have a hard time thinking that E.D. White would ever be down because that's just kind of what I'm trained to think. I didn't think Lockport's legit. Their coach was excited, talked to them a couple weeks ago, said they had some dudes. They returned their quarterback, returned their running back. Like, yeah, I think they're legit. Kudos to them. Kudos to LCO getting a win against 6-4, taking care of business. You were at that one, Mr. A-Bear. Watch Victor and Silas both get some reps there. Good win. But I'll tell you this, man, I was going into the game. Everybody was telling me, 6-4's terrible and they can't do this. They can't. They got a couple guys who could play, man. They had some dudes that were making it a challenge for a little while.
They got some good running backs on that team, and apparently our quarterback's not that bad either. He was chucking it downfield. He had one that was easy touchdown that was dropped. If the kid catches it, he's going 60 yards for a touchdown. Kid's got a little arm.
I think they had some size in the backfield as well.
Yep.
Was not prepared for that.
But shout out to those Bulldogs for taking that win.
Yep. Big performance from LCO. Big kick return from my guy Johnson there, running it back for a score, kind of flipped the game around, and the Bulldogs get to 1-0. They got a tall task next week at Thibodaux. That's going to be a big challenge. They're the one middle school team that I have not really gotten to lay eyes on that usually is a big power.
Who did they play this week?
It had to have been Bayou Blue, I'd imagine. I think it's the only matchups that I don't know of how it went. So
I'll send a text and find out.
There you go.
Beginning of the fourth quarter, Thibodaux's leading 30-0. So I'm going to be pretty positive and say this, that Thibodaux's going to be stout as well.
Yeah. Thibodaux with a 30-0 lead over Bayou Blue. Wonk, wonk.
Leads me to believe that they're going to be pretty good.
All right. If they're leading 30-0 in game one, as you guys hit the nail on the head, the time to usually get them is early. If they're beating someone in week one, probably not a great sign. Let's put a pin in it. We're going to get Derek Brunet on the line, talking about his week one game, which was yesterday against the Raceland Cubs. Coach Brunet and his team had opportunities, man. They just were not able to take advantage of some of the mistakes and some of the different things that were granted them. I know Coach Brunet and his team are going to look forward to on Tuesday taking on 6-4, trying to get into the winners column. That'll be at Thibodaux High School. Oh, I think we've got Coach Derek Brunet on the line. D, good evening, sir. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well, guys. How are y'all?
Good, brother. Good. Look, you guys took on Raceland yesterday. It did not go the way that you guys had hoped. I know you and I chatted this morning, but you've since had a practice. How was practice today, and what was the mood of the boys like after playing a very physical, hard-fought game that didn't go their way?
Well, the mood of the guys, they were ready to come in and work. They took the loss to heart. You know, they were able to put it behind them, and they were ready to just come in and work and improve, correct mistakes, and move on and get ready for Sixth Ward. That's what we preach. After the game's over, the next day, we start in the preparation to win the week, and we're on to Sixth Ward week, which we'll be playing them on Tuesday. So guys came in ready to work, and practice today, we was a classroom work day. We watched film, thoroughly prepared for Sixth Ward's offense, defense, and special teams. So that way tomorrow we could take our scout offense and scout defense, put them out on the field, prepare them against our offense and defense and special teams, and we'll do the same on Monday, and then we'll take the field against those guys on Tuesday.
You guys had a lot of kids get dinged yesterday, and I know you told us earlier today, hey, it doesn't look like it'll be season ending for a lot of them. Is it a situation where you can maybe get some of those kids back on Tuesday when you face Sixth Ward?
Yeah, it looks like we'll get the majority of them back for Tuesday against Sixth Ward. Maybe one or two won't be able to go, but it looks like we'll have most of them ready and available for Tuesday.
Derek, how does it work in middle school? Like, what I mean by that is BJ Young knows right now, hey, every single one of my games is on a Friday night except one, the October 30th game moved up to Thursday because of Halloween. So he's got his routine set. Middle school, it's different. Yeah, you know your schedule, but one day it might be a Tuesday, the next it might be a Thursday, the next week it might be a Monday. Every week it's a different routine, it's a different amount of rest days, and it's a different practice agenda, I'm sure, for the week. How do you guys as a coaching staff adjust to that, knowing that hey, it's not like high school where just you get ready for Friday night? God knows when the game is going to be on any given week.
Right now we flip-flop them between Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So we play Wednesday this week, so we have Thursday, Friday, and Monday to prepare for Sixth Ward. So you want short time to prepare for a team, and I wish we could have the luxury of having another games on the same day, you know. And then the next week we'll play on a Tuesday, so then you have the Wednesday, Thursday. You could give the kids off Friday if you want, and then you have the Monday. So the flip-flopping is definitely not ideal, but we make it work. We just adjust on the fly, man. That's how it goes.
Was there a little bit, I mean, be honest, was there a little bit of a hangover after you guys kind of got that 12-6 against LCO, where the kids kind of reading the press clippings a little bit? Because you said you didn't like the effort. Do you think that's part why the effort wasn't to your standard last night?
I think that could be. I think we might have gone in a hair overconfident. Definitely, I think we were feeling a little too good about where we were at the time. And, you know, I mean, the boys worked hard. They deserved it. But at the same time, you gotta stay level-headed. You can't let the success go to your head, you know, no matter how good you're playing or how bad you're playing. You got to stay even keel. So I do think we had a little bit of an issue with that, but I think going forward that we won't. I think last night was a very hard-learned lesson, but one we needed to learn nonetheless.
Coach, mindset-wise, and I'm talking you personally, obviously taking a loss, taking that hard, going in to the next day of practice, and you ready to get at it. I know you flipped the switch, but knowing the injuries and the wear and tear on you guys, how do you manage that portion on that next day practice?
The day after a game, we don't go full pads at all, and most of the time we do mainly just a classroom day, where we sitting in front of the screen here in the which was our field house, but we're in the cafeteria as of right now with construction going on. But we watch film and we just kind of have the guys relax. You know, we're not going out there and taking hits and doing things like that. So we try to make the day after the game as light as possible.
I was asked this by a fan last night, and I really don't know the answer. I know you told me that you like the leg that your kicker has, and you think he can make, 25, 30-yard field goals. Where do you guys rep that? Do you guys even have uprights to, work on that?
Yeah, we actually do have uprights there.
Okay, awesome.
We had some at the practice field for years that were, old, and only one set was up and standing. But then Ida took those things out. So Coach Scott Chauvin, our assistant coach, got a Grand Isle Shipyard to make us one, and they put it in. We've been having it about 5 weeks now, so we've been practicing and getting some good reps in. So thanks to GIS for fabricating that and getting it made for us, and it's definitely helped us out. I mean, we had a chance at 2 field goals, and that's something we wouldn't have attempted in the past because we just didn't have the equipment to do it.
Good deal, man. Look, you've, I'm sure, watched the Sixth Ward game a couple times. They played LCO fairly close. They got some big dudes that run the football really hard. How do you guys try to slow that down and then also get a little push of your own whenever you guys are on offense?
Yeah, we got to get back to dominating the lines of scrimmage, man. Offensive and defensively, I think our defensive line had a good night last night, all things considered. I mean, you go toe to toe with those guys for 3.5 quarters and hold them to 0. I mean, 2.5 quarters, excuse me, and 0-0, and that's a pretty good night. Offensively, we got to get back to our standard. We didn't play up to our standard, but not just our offensive line. It was our backs not getting their blocks either. So all around there's plenty of blame to go around, but it wasn't an effort thing last night. It was definitely just mental mistakes. We hurt ourselves.
Coach, shout out on both sides of the ball. I know it's not all negative. I know can't take all negatives away from one game, but shout out some guys on both sides of football that has some good solid nights.
Javen Allen had a heck of a night on the defensive line,
yes,
man. He got penetrations every single night. Our linebackers did an excellent job in pass coverage and tackling as well. Hayden Guidry, one of our linebackers, made an excellent play in pass coverage. I believe it was 23 that went out on the route, and I thought he was going to come down with it, but Hayden made a perfect pass breakup, and that's something we try to work on in practice, but it's hard to do. And he's just a gamer and got it done. Offensively in the backfield, Carter plays on us, had a very good game, and there were spurts where our offensive line did well too. I tell you, when our offensive line, when we were right, when we were on it, we produced yards. We were able to move the football, but we just had too many plays where we weren't all on the right page. We weren't all on the same page, and things happened. So, I mean, there were negatives for sure, but look, as I told the boys, there's plenty of positives last night too. I mean, if you ask me, honestly, after taking the field against that team, they may be the best team in the parish. I mean, just off of what I've seen everybody else, and I know Lockport's looking really good, and I don't want to take anything away from them because we haven't played them yet. But man, Raceland's good. They are a very, very good team.
I feel like that's a team that's going to get better and better as the season progresses. Look, real quick, Coach, while we got you on, I know you probably got a good eye on the Thibodaux Bayou Blue match. Just got a text. Beginning of the fourth quarter, Thibodaux's leading 30-0. So I'm going to be pretty positive and say this, that Thibodaux's going to be stout as well.
Yeah.
Raceland, Thibodaux, I mean, you look at mirror images, they're going to be full of speed. They're going to have some size, and they are teams that they might start off this season a little slow, but they just get better and better and better as the season goes on. And hopefully that's what we do too.
So we were talking earlier about E.D. White and Lockport, and a lot of folks were stunned that Lockport. Was that surprising to you, being that they were returning so much on offense?
I tell you what I saw from Lockport in their Jamboree game that they played against Raceland, I was thoroughly impressed with their performance. They beat Raceland 8-6. So I'm very high on Raceland. So I think Lockport's a very darn good team too.
Derek, I know you follow the college game. We've got a couple people at our desk that are still up on LSU. We got a couple people on our desk that are a little more down on LSU. They're taking on the Florida Gators Saturday night in Death Valley. Florida is very desperate, trying to fight to save their coach's career. What are you expecting to see from Brian Kelly and his crew on Saturday night in Death Valley?
I think Coach Kelly's going to have that team refocused and ready to rock and roll. I think we played down to our level of competition last week, which happens quite often. And as a coach, and I know Damon could speak to this, it infuriates you as a coach when you go out and you have these performances and you play well against, top-rated teams or whatever it is, but then you play somebody that maybe is not as good as the competition you faced before and you play down to them. It's infuriating. So I understand where Coach Kelly's coming from. I saw a clip somewhere that he really lit into the guys after the Tech game because the effort just wasn't up to the standard. So I think he's going to have those guys right. Of course, our defense is playing lights out right now. I mean, this is what we've all been envisioning, with Harold Perkins since he's been on campus, and Blake Baker, he's got those guys playing hard, playing fast, playing aggressive, and I think our offense is going to get back on track. Man, I trust Nussmeier. I just trust him. He's a good quarterback. He's a really good quarterback. I think he's going to get right.
There we go. Hey, man, we thank you so much for the time. Best of luck on Tuesday. Go get that first dub of the season, man.
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for having me. I appreciate it.
We thank Derek so much for his time, and we wish Golden Meadow the best of luck in their Week 2 matchup with 6th Ward.
I feel like we get Coach Brunet on weekly. I think we'll make that a weekly segment.
Red on my jersey, lion on my chest is for my fam, for my town. We ain't settling for less. Offense clean.